Rev up your engines. Here we have the past and the present of America car buying. Okay, strangely enough, they're owned by the same guy. Basically shows what's changed in the United States. In the past, everybody wanted a Cadillac because Cadillacs ruled. This is a 93. Strangely enough, he bought it. It's got 31,000 miles. It's in immaculate shape. You know, it never saw rain. It never saw snow. Garaged in the winter. So, I mean, this thing's in immaculate shape. And he also owns this Rav4. Back in the day, everybody wanted something big. They wanted sedans. 4-door sedans that were comfy, had a lot of room in them. They sold the heck out of them. But go to the present day, it isn't the present day Rav4, it's still a Rav4. Last year, Toyota sold almost 500,000 Rav4s. And Cadillac cars, they sold about 35,000. So it's a big difference. Times have changed. Says with this Cadillac, you can fit a lot of people in the back because it's got a lot of room. But legally, you can only put 5 people in because it's only got 5 seat belts. Same deal. It's got 5 seat belts in it too. They maximize the interior space. This Fleetwood is a much longer car. You look at the modern Cadillacs, they're nothing as long as this. They're much shorter vehicles. Now, it's got a big old V8 engine in it. You can see pretty simple technology compared to the stuff they're putting out today. But even back in the day, this thing bypassed the gas hog tax because, as you can see, it's got fuel injection. Mind you, it's throttle body fuel injection, it's not multi-port, but this thing can get in the 20s on the highway if you drive conservatively, 55 miles an hour. All the engines can last a long time, although this thing's only got 30-something thousand miles on it, so, you know, it's not even broken in yet. Now, this is an interesting Fleetwood Cadillac because this is when they redesigned them and they went back to rear-wheel drive, which is what they were really designed for in the first place. People really were not happy with the front-wheel drive Fleetwoods. Americans never really got the knack of building front-wheel drive cars. This is back to the classic V8, automatic transmission, and rear-wheel drive. And as you can see, there's a lot of room inside this thing. Okay, I feel like I'm in somebody's sofa. This thing is curved. It is super comfortable. And since this thing's only got 30-something thousand miles, hey, everything's not worn at all, right? Giant trunk. You could put a whole bunch of bodies in there if you wanted to. No, I grew up with those things. Everybody wanted a big car. You could take everybody on vacation, go to the drive-in, and people could sleep in the back while people in the front are watching. Other things could be done in the back seats too. Now, it doesn't fit modern society. You notice here, there's no place you can store anything. And the only thing it's got is a couple of cup holders hiding in here. That's it, you know? It doesn't have all the creature comforts. It has a tiny glove box. The owner's manual doesn't even fit in there. It's so small. Now everyone wants SUVs. Like I say, the Rav4, they outsell everyone. The Honda CR-V is second place, but they sell a lot more of these for a lot of reasons because it's got what people want these days. You got enough room here, but you drop the seats down. Then you got a lot of room to carry stuff. Mind you, you couldn't hide the bodies in there very well. Everyone would see them. And of course, it's modern. So you got all kinds of holders in the door, cup holders here, all the electronic navigation systems, sunroof. And under the hood, this particular has a V6 engine. A lot of guys get 4s. He wanted the speed, so he got a V6. This is a relatively fast vehicle. Supposed to do 0 to 60 in like 6 seconds. The Cadillac takes more than twice as long, even though it's got a V8 engine. It's an older car. It's like 180 horsepower in the Cadillac because it's old dinosaur push rod V8 with just a simple throttle body fuel injection system. It's a Toyota. They don't have any particular problems. The AC runs forever. The cars can run forever. He bought this. It's pretty low mileage. As you can see, it's only got 76,856 miles on it. So it's got tons of life left in it. People have gone towards SUVs because it's all around. They can use them for all kinds of things. They can drop the seats back. They can haul stuff. They like the size. I mean, let's face the fact. Modern parking spaces, good luck fixing it. Big old Cadillac in it. These things are easy to park. The Rav4s, they're a nice size. You're high enough that you can see everything. You don't have to worry about floodwaters as much. And there's ashtrays all over the place in this thing. Real ashtrays with real cigarette lighters. And of course, in those days, everything was chrome plated. This is also wood and chrome plated. So what everybody used to want. Now this thing has progressive steering, so look, you can steer with one finger even at low speeds. Now, of course, modern cars, they've got electronic power steering. It's all run by computers. Now, here we are in Rhode Island's horrendous roads, always voted worst roads in the nation. And really, this thing's old, but doesn't have any miles. It just glides over the bumps. It's not like you're feeling everything. That's why people bought these things. They're riding around in a real limousine, and they're comfortable. The front seats are comfortable, but man, those back seats are insane. Since this was the redesigned one, check it out. A digital speedometer. Although people didn't like the digital speedometers. And they went back to fake analog ones later. Americans just don't like seeing 16, 15, 18, 19. They just like a little needle that sits there. So, there's nobody coming. Here we go. Whee! Yep, it's like sailing, a really fast boat. You point and you go in that direction. Hey, this thing is smooth. That's the real mileage. He's not lying about it. This is like it came off the showroom floor. Really, it sat in garages for years. And as he says, there's no body roll. And if you notice those fancy white wall tires with the gold around them, he had to get those special because you have to have the right tires on this car or it's going to get body roll. Then there wasn't just that. Of course, they were dry rotted. Sitting around, so he had to get tires. But if you're going to get something like this, make sure you get the tires that match the car, or it won't be as much fun to drive because it really doesn't have any body roll at all. Now you look inside, like I said, if you get the tire out of the way, you can fit a whole bunch of bodies in there, and I'm sure many people did over the years. This is the East Coast after all. Okay, so you got a real smooth riding car. People wanted that back in the day. They wanted to just insulate themselves, be on a living room couch, and go down the road. And that's exactly what that thing is. Detroit steel, they've gone to Japanese plastic. Hey, these things are faster. If you want a real fast vehicle, get a brand new Rav4 plug-in hybrid. They are screamers. You got a push-rod engine. It's old technology. You can only go so far with it. And these are modern technology. And this isn't even a particularly new one. As you can see, it's an 09. And it was made in Japan. Japanese do a great job. They did a great job in the United States building those Cadillacs back in the day. Now things have totally turned over on their head. Everybody wants SUVs, something that's got room inside but not particularly large outside, and they're worried about maintenance. And this has an option to drive all four wheels. A lot of people want all-wheel drive these days. And the thing about that Cadillac was they went to front-wheel drive in the early ones, the Fleetwoods, and people didn't like the way they were. Then this was the first year that they went back to the Cadillac to rear-wheel drive, and it's a much better driving experience. It just is. Anybody who likes driving big cars, they want rear-wheel drive. They really don't want front-wheel drive. And in the case of this, it's front-wheel drive most of the time, but if you want, you can put the rear ones in if you really need to get it and you're in the snow or mud or something like that. And it makes it more an all-around vehicle. Recreational activity vehicle, four-wheel drive, even though quite a few of them aren't four-wheel drives. And I don't care. I like the spare tire out here. I think it looks cool. Gives you a little more space. There's nothing worse than a vehicle that has a spare tire hiding on the bottom. It makes it look more like a Jeepy vehicle anywhere with the tire on the back. I like them with the tires on the back. Makes more sense. Now, it does have push start. Hey, that's the way things go these days. I'm not a fan. But of course, it's got power windows. My favorite, it has a real parking brake. Not that electronic crap that they have on modern ones. Here we go. You'll probably be surprised at how fast this thing is because it's got a V6 in it. But it's such a smaller car, and it's just so much easier to drive. You're actually driving. You're not pointing and headed in that direction. It's a smaller wheelbase vehicle, so you're going to feel the bumps. That's just the way that it goes. I've had so many people say, Scotty, can you make this ride better? And I basically say, no, you really can't because of the design. I've tried all kinds of different shocks, struts, Bilsteins, you name it. You're always going to have a relatively rough ride because it's a small wheelbase vehicle and it's relatively high up in the air too. And SUVs are what everybody wants nowadays, and this is the biggest selling one in the country for years. And it doesn't take a genius to figure that one out. Why? Because they last, they run, they don't break much, and as we'll find out in a second, the traction control went in, so we couldn't burn rubber, but this is an extremely fast little SUV. And of course, this is a V6. It's extremely smooth. It idles as smooth as the Cadillac, but it's much smaller inside. People are living more compact lives these days. This baby has 2 glove boxes. Everybody wants an SUV. Like I said, Toyota sold almost 500,000 of them last year. They are the biggest sellers other than pickup trucks. And this one, he got a great deal on a used one. It's in immaculate shape, even though it lived in Massachusetts. You'd think the Cadillac would be all rusted out, but it doesn't live in the winter. It doesn't come out in the rain. So it still looks like a brand new car. You're hardly ever going to see something like this ever again, because this is the future. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.